I just want to, we have a unique opportunity years ago. In fact, really what put northern Uganda on the world's roadmap was the Lord's Resistance Army War that was headed by the rebel leader Joseph Kony. Joseph Kony was a very demonically possessed leader. His band of rebels at some time, they estimate at the height, was around 3,000 to 5,000, mostly young children, 12 years of age or younger. And they would move through the northern land, the Acholi land of northern Uganda and South Sudan, and just terrorize people. And the reality was he was extremely inspired by demonic spirits, and he had 3 major high places in which he would sacrifice animals and people in order to gain access to satanic power. And one of those places is in this town of Aweri, and this is the rock, and on top of that rock they would hold all these satanic rituals. And this Sentinel Group, George Otis's ministry that chronicles so much of what God is doing around the world, actually did a video called An Unconventional War, and it chronicles the rise and the fall of the LRA. The rise of the LRA was this demonic rebel group that terrorized and murdered over 300,000 Acholi people. And then was brought to destruction when the church, the Ugandan church, a unified body, gathered together, prepared themselves, and literally came up with armed escorts. The Ugandan armed forces had to escort them to these places, and went on there and tore them down. They tore all the stuff. They prayed. They redeemed these high places in the name of the Lord Jesus. Amen. And it was such a miracle that even the soldiers who were escorting them got saved, got born again, and gave their hearts to Jesus because they saw the contrast of the demonic power and the saving grace of Jesus. And so we're just wanting to chronicle this. This was real life. And this didn't happen in the 1600s, 1700s. This happened in the 1990s and 2000s. Real life, real world happening today. Spiritual warfare over the hearts and souls of an entire people group. And then after they prayed and tore these high places down, Kony himself declared he had no more contact with the spirit and fled Uganda in 2006 and has never returned. The Lord's Resistance Army under Joseph Kony has never returned to the north. And so the north is slowly growing and coming back to normal. So the land is starting to prosper. Business are starting to come forth. But the people are still weighted down with the atrocities that they had to experience. And so that's why we are here. The Lord has opened up a door for us to be in this land, in this region, in this season. And we're not subject to the demonic powers that would take this land, but we're walking and moving in the power of the Lord Jesus Christ and His Spirit. And we're seeing not just the war ending, but the restoration of the Acholi people and the destiny that God has for this people in northern Uganda. So when you're partnering with Lamplighter, when you're partnering in prayer, partnering in finance, when you're coming to this land to give what you can, you're actually bringing about restoration and releasing the destiny of God for the Acholi people in the land of northern Uganda and South Sudan. So we thank you. Dan, you want to add something? My friend Dan Newton from Dallas, Texas has been with us these last few days. You have anything you'd like to share?
Well, it just brings into reality the spiritual battle that was going on back in that time. And it just encourages me, as it should you, to see the army of God, His righteous people, coming against the enemy and actually praying and casting out the works of the devil. And so to be on this site just brings that into a reality for me personally that I'll always remember. and it is, in fact, the victories of God that we live by and have our being in. And so I'm glad that to be here to discover this just sense of peace about this place, even in spite of what went on years ago. So I thank you,
Yeah, yeah.
Jim, for this experience.
Bless you guys and thank you.